No surrender, no defeat. But maybe it's time for a little Evercade retreat. No surrender, no defeat. But maybe it's time for a little Evercade retreat.
Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. My name is Gene Jake and today I'm ranking and reviewing the games from the Interplay Collection Volume 1 for the Evercade. Founded in 1983, Interplay have been around for a fair few years. They're still kicking around to a lesser degree these days. They're most known for publishing games like Fallout, Baldur's Gate and Earthworm Jim and various others. They've done a lot over the years. Although really over the last 15 years they have been much less prolific and have been a much smaller consideration in general. And these days they tend to focus on re-releasing their older games and IPs. Including this collection are a number of classic Interplay games, but also some Titus games, because Titus essentially purchased or bought out Interplay, but obviously Interplay kept going as an entity, perhaps because it's a name with a better reputation than that of Titus. But anyway, that's kind of irrelevant. So I'm going to get on with my ranking of the collection, and I think many people will probably disagree with my opinions, but hey, they're my opinions and take them or leave them, but I'll try and explain them as best I can. So, starting with my least favourite game on the collection, and that would be Earthworm Jim. Yet, what many people consider the best game on the collection is my least favourite by far. I hate this game with a passion. Now, to put it in context, back when this came out on the Mega Drive, I actually loved this game. Fantastic animation and really cartoony visuals, some unique gameplay aspects. It was a lot of fun, except it wasn't. It was style over substance, and ultimately the game itself is just really frustrating, has a horrendous level design, and it just really isn't all that much fun to play. It was re-released, I think it's on the Xbox 360, and I downloaded it from the Xbox Live Arcade or whatever. And it was then that I realised the game wasn't that much fun. Again, I like the style, I like the character and everything, but just found myself really struggling to enjoy it. Fast forward, good 10, 15 years or whatever it's been since the 360 days, and playing on the Evercade, and I have learned to loathe this game. So if you like it and you enjoy it and you get some pleasure out of this, great. You haven't had the experience I have. I hate this. I really hate this game. Technically, it's better than other games on this collection, in various levels. It's probably the best looking game on the collection. It has some good music. It has a lot of interesting things going for it. But playing through it and beating this game, and I can't stand it. It fills me with rage just thinking about this game. Next up we have Clay Fighter, another case of style over substance. Again, I played this back in the day and I quite enjoyed it, but I pretty much just played it multiplayer with my brother and other family members, and we just had fun multiplayer, but we knew it wasn't a great game. We were just entertained by it to some degree. It's not a completely terrible fighting game, but playing it single player is not a lot of fun. There's not much balance to the characters, and there's not much strategy involved either. You can pretty much cheese most of the characters. But the stop motion animated characters do have a lot of charm. Well, I wouldn't say charm. They have a uniqueness to them. They're not really that charming or likeable, to be perfectly honest. But the whole thing does have a charming vibe. And that was the selling point back then, and it's pretty much all it has going for it now. Okay, and next we have Battle Chess. And this could have been another game here, because at the end of the day, chess is chess. It plays like chess and it's fine. It's battle chess, but it's not like the Amiga version or other versions. It doesn't have the graphical finesse of those, and this version is extremely slow. You could argue that chess is quite a slow-paced game anyway, which it is, but when you've got to wait for these characters to walk very slowly before they go and, attack the enemy or if they take a piece, which they do very slowly as well, it just gets tedious after you've seen them a few times. And it's a fine chess game, but very sedate. But again, you can have fun with it in little doses if you like, maybe. So moving on, and we have Titan. This is an NES sort of puzzle game, if you like. It's got a mixture of pinball and breakout, I suppose. You move a block around, you bounce a ball, you destroy some other blocks, and it's a much larger, the levels are scrolling, and it's hard to describe, and it's not a terrible game, although I did find the scrolling jerky and that was bothersome. But it's fine, it's okay, but it gets a little bit tedious. Or at least it does if you play it in for too long doses. But doing a level at a time, playing a little bit here and there, and it's fine, it's perfectly playable. It's just nothing particularly special. Really don't have much to say about this one. It's fine. My second favourite game on the collection is Incantation. This is a late era Super Nintendo platform where you control some cutesy looking wizard, platforming around, battling through various levels, collecting weeds and defeating bosses. And it's okay, I suppose. I mean, honestly, I think the graphics are quite nice in this game, and the sound is fine, and it plays okay. The problem I found with it is you've got to collect a number of items to then pay the troll thing at the end, and then you fight a boss on each level. And there's magical portals which take you to other areas. And I just found the platforming side of things, it gets a bit dull, and the levels aren't really that big, but sometimes they're more complicated than they need to be. And I just found myself losing interest playing most of the levels. And I really had to push myself, I had to force myself to keep playing it to see this game through, because I just got bored. But it does everything fine, it's charming, it's alright, and yeah, this is not a really strong sales pitch on this game because it's just pretty mediocre as a whole. I think maybe more development time this game could have been better. There is the promise of a good game there, but it ultimately falls short, and yeah, it's okay. So finally we have my favourite game on the collection, and that would be Boogerman. This is a platform for the Sega Mega Drive, at least I think this is the Mega Drive version. Might be the SNES version, I don't recall and I don't care. I mean, it's a fine game. It's a platformer sort of in the Earthworm Jim mould, in the sense if you've got a nicely animated cartoon character, the level design isn't quite as straightforward as earlier platformers, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot more enjoyable to play than Earthworm Jim. The humour is, the clues in the title. He picks and flicks his bogeys, he farts, and yeah, it's very childish. The visual or the art style is kind of unappealing, like some bad sort of 80s, early 90s comic or cartoon. And yeah, it's kind of tasteless. I know it's sort of appealed to maybe 8-year-old kids, but the actual gameplay itself is pretty good. And yeah, the most I could really say about this game is it's pretty good. I did find my attention wavering at times. The level design's not always amazing. There's flaws with it, but overall it's pretty good, and that puts it leaps and bounds above most of the other games on this collection. So looking at the cart as a whole, as you can tell, I wasn't really fond of many of the games here at all, really, and I would say this is easily one of the worst collections on the Evercade. Obviously your mileage may vary and nostalgia will play a part, and like I said, I played some of these games before. Two of my least favourite ones, I have played Battle Chess before, but not the NES version. Boogerman I'd never played, but I was aware of it. They all have something going for them that I didn't enjoy them. Maybe you will, and maybe nostalgia will help you have some enjoyment out of it. You know, with 6 games on the cart, which was, I think, one of the smallest carts that came out in out of the first 10 collections on the Evercade. Yeah, it wasn't great, and yeah, this is one of my least played carts, and it really doesn't have much going for it. I couldn't recommend it to anyone, really. But again, I know there's Earthworm Jim fans out there, and I know some people have nostalgia for Clay Fighter, so yeah, maybe it is worth picking up. But if I was to score it myself, it would be a 4 out of 10. Maybe I'm being generous. Anyway, I'm sure many people will disagree with my opinion, although that said, I'm pretty sure this isn't a very well regarded cart as a whole. But even so, I know people will disagree because of Earthworm Jim. My hatred for that game is, well, I think it makes me an outlier in that sense. So, take this all with a pinch of salt. Anyway, that's enough rambling and ranting about this collection, so I'll leave it there, and I'll leave it with a song, as I usually do, and I'll see you in the next video.
In a world so strange, down in the sewers deep, lives a hero named Boogerman, with a secret he must keep. He's not your average guy, oh no, he's far from clean. With a flick of his snot, he'll fight off the mean. Boogerman, fighting crime with slime, saving the world one birth at a time. Boogerman, gross but brave, in this world of filth, he's the one we crave. He leaps through the muck with courage so grand, armed with his boogers, a fist and a fart in hand. Enemies beware, the grossness he brings, from his nose to his toes to his deadly green wings. Boogerman, fighting crime with slime, saving the world one birth at a time. Boogerman, gross but brave, in this world of filth, he's the one we crave. Through toilets and sludge, our hero will go, to vanquish the filth and to cleanse all below. In his quest for justice, there's nothing he won't do. For Boogerman the hero, he's coming for you. Pick and flick. Pick and flick. It's not a problem when you pick and flick. this world of filth. He's the one we crave. So raise your tissues high and give a cheer for Boogerman the hero, the one we hold dear in the land of the slimy, the gross and obscene. Boogerman, his flatulence will bring balance to the world again.